And there is Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder stating that he plans on boxing until he's 50 years old. And let me counterpunch. Bullshit. Bullshit. I mean, I know you're trying to convince people that you are still interested in the sport. You still want to do big things in the sport. This portion of your career is going to be very fun for you, like he said. But fighting until you're 50 years old, what are you trying to do? Are you trying to beat George Foreman's record by being the oldest heavyweight champion? You know, I mean, there's a lot of people that he could fight. Yeah, I mean, there's always somebody to fight. You know, just with America alone, you know, you got Jared Anderson, you got Jarrell Big Baby Miller, you got Michael Hunter, you got Efe Ajagba, you have Frank Sanchez, you have Richard Torres. You know what I mean? You have a lot of people. Andy Ruiz, add him to that list. That's just in America. And let's not even talk about the UK. However, him talking about, I'm going to keep fighting until I'm 50 years old, I think it's bullshit. Or better yet, I hope it's bullshit. Because if he plans on fighting to 50 years old, that means there's something that Deontay Wilder is not telling us. And that something is that Taylor Swift took him to the cleaners. Because, you know, it was some unpublished things that happened between him and Taylor Swift, you know, right after he got knocked out by Zhilei Zhang. She filed a restraining order. He wasn't even back in the States yet. He was still in Saudi Arabia when she filed this thing that Monday morning from that Saturday that he got knocked out. So that Monday morning, she immediately went to the police station and filed a restraining order against him, which everyone looked at that and was like, okay, that's very, very convenient or very inconvenient. You know, what are the odds of that? You now decide, oh, let me press a restraining order, and had so many pages of evidence about what he did to her and the things that she put up with for 3 years. So that tells you she didn't do this shit before until that time. You know what I mean? So I don't know. That was just strange. But he was planning on going to court with her. And, you know, he went from, hey, I'm good, I don't need boxing and this, that, and the other. Remember, he used to say that until he probably went to court. Now he goes to court, you know. Now all of a sudden you plan on fighting till you're 50. Why would you do that? Why? Why would you want to fight until you're 50 years old, risk damaging everything that you've worked for, your kids that you call your best friends? Why would you want to stay in the game that long? That doesn't even make sense to me. You know, you're talking about somebody that made one of the most intelligent statements that I've ever heard anyone else say. Close to what Floyd Mayweather said, but he said this, Wilder did. Wilder said, the head is not normal and doesn't supposed to get hit. You know what I mean? There's nothing normal about getting hit in the head. Damage or violence is not normal to be taking. That's not what's supposed to be happening with you. You see what I mean? And I thought about it. I'm like, you know what? That actually makes a lot of sense. You're not supposed to get hit in your computer, you know, in your dome, right? Floyd Mayweather said there's nothing cool about taking punishment. So they're kind of the same thing, and especially in the same ballpark. But I do think that Wilder saying this tells me that he's either talking shit, cap, or he needs the money because some money has been funneled out of his grasp by other people that was once close to him. And that may be, you know, that issue. I'm just speculating, okay? But seriously, he's going to pay something for that. Either out of child support, he wasn't married, so she couldn't get alimony, so definitely he had something to do with the child. You know what I mean? So him saying that, you know, I'm going to fight until I'm 50 years old that totally contradicts what and how he was talking. Because he was talking like, I'm not going to be in the game long. I do plan on being the unified, undisputed, and all that. But he didn't say anything about 10 years. You know what I mean? I'm going to fight till I'm 50. I'm like, okay, you're going to be 40 next month, right? And you're planning on fighting to 50. Now, let's look on the optimistic side. Optimistic side of things would be, well, maybe he, shows people that he's in good shape and high spirits, that he could fight till he's 50. But he didn't say that. He said that he's going to fight until he's 50. You know what I mean? And I just think that's just so off the beaten path from what he was saying yesteryear before yesteryear before yesteryear. You know what I mean? And anybody that fights that long, that's not built for a durable sport, is going to show repercussions. And the last thing you want is to see Wilder not remember things, pause in mid-sentence, you know what I mean? Punch drunk, damaged from the cerebral and all that, slow, slurred speech. I don't want to see that from Wilder or any other fighter. If it's time to go, it's time to go. So if he's serious about that, people, that means he does not know, neither does he have people around him to stir him in the right direction of getting the hell out of the sport when you can, with your mind, body, and soul attached. But you guys tell me what you think of Deontay Wilder now stating that he's going to fight until he's 50 years old, another 10 years. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch.
To this day.
Peace.
To this day.
To this day.
To this day.
To this day.
To this day.